declared 3 days of mourning following a helicopter crash which killed 8 people, including the country's ministers of defense and environment. Mahama has also suspended all official activities. The country's flags will fly at half-mast. The cause of the crash is unknown at this stage. Julius Debra, Chief of Staff to the President of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, addressed the media on the plane crash last night. Let's have a listen at what he had to say.
In the tragic crash, Dr. Edward Kofi Omane-Boamah, Minister for Defense, Alhaji Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, MP, Minister for Environment, Science and Technology, Alhaji Muniru Mohammed Lemuna, Acting Deputy National Security Coordinator and former Minister for Food and Agriculture, Dr. Samuel Sapon, Vice Chairman of the National Democratic Congress, and Mr. Samuel Abuaji, a former parliamentary candidate. Squadron Leader Peter Bafemi Anala, Flying Officer Manin Chum Ampedu, and Sergeant Ernest Ado Mensah. The President and government extends our condolences and sympathies to the families of our comrades and the servicemen who died in service to the country. All flags are to fly at half-mast until further notice. Thank you.
So we're joined now by our correspondent in Ghana, Eric Mawuena, to get detail on the story. Eric, thank you for joining us. A sad morning. I can't even ask how you're feeling this morning in Ghana. But thanks for making time for us in terms of shedding more light on this tragic incident. What exactly do we know about what happened and where it happened exactly, this military plane crash in Ghana?
Right, Asanda, good morning. Yes, a very, very sad last few hours in Ghana following that tragic incident. And so what we know, as you rightly stated, we don't have details as to what caused the crash, but what it is that we know is that the government delegation, I say a government delegation because it had not just the two ministers, but it had a deputy national security coordinator as well as other members of the governing party all on board before that unfortunate crash. We're headed to the Ashanti regional town of Obuasi, very well known for gold mining, because of the issues of illegal mining, which has plagued Ghana and was dominant subject theme in the lead up to the December elections last year. The government, since it took over, has been rolling out different initiatives to seek to curb the activities of illegal mining. And one of such events or one of such activities was being launched, a mining cooperative, where they were seeking to introduce a cooperative between communities to ensure that the young persons there do not find their way into illegal mining pits. And if they mine, they do that legally and sustainably while also finding alternative livelihoods for them as well. That was the occasion upon which the government delegation was on its way to the Ashanti region before that unfortunate accident which happened. What we know is that from eyewitness account from the residents in the Ekrufom town in the Ashanti region where this incident happened, they say that they saw the military helicopter, the Z9 military helicopter, flying at a very low altitude up until the time they had a loud bang, and then they knew something was amiss and began to make their way there. The difficulty with everything as well is that this happened in a dense forest and it was a mountainous area as well, and so even for rescue operations they had to walk about an hour and 30 minutes before they could reach the site of the crash, making it even more difficult in that moment for any possible rescue efforts to have happened between when the aircraft went down and when news reached the respective government agencies for rescue efforts to have commenced immediately. It's been a very difficult last 24 hours, like you mentioned, even for us news persons as well. I had the unfortunate pleasure of having to have broken the news when it happened, and all throughout from the respective constituencies of some of these members of there was a sitting member of parliament who happens to be the Minister for Environment, Dr. Murtala Mohammed, from his home to his constituency to the home and other areas of all the other persons. It's been grief non-stop and uncontrollable tears up until now. The president himself has been so shaken by this because at some point in time he was supposed to have been at this event, but due to the nature of his schedules, he had to delegate for the defense minister to represent him, a journey upon which he was on before this unfortunate demise. And so that's quite shaking the president as well. It was a confirmation we got from the education minister who spoke to the media after the chief of staff had announced or confirmed their demise, because news began to spread thick and fast, and bloggers and social media commentary meant that the government needed to take immediate steps to announce their death to further stem whatever misinformation may have arisen from the incident. And so a 3 days of mourning has been announced, and from here on in, flags are flying at half mast after a government delegation visited the homes of the eight, unfortunately, demise, informing them officially of the incident.
As you mentioned, there are key ministers and officials who've lost their lives from this plane crash. Can we confirm which ministers they are? I think you mentioned Environment Minister as well.
Yes, and so Asana, if I could just go through officially the names of the ministers, and so we have the defense minister. He was leading, amongst many other things, that delegation because he was doing so on behalf of the president, Dr. Edward Omaneboama. Then there was the Environment, Science and Technology Minister, who mining and its related activities also falls under Dr. Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed. There was Alhaji Muniru Mohammed, who is the acting Deputy National Security Coordinator. Then there was Dr. Samuel Sapong, who is the National Vice Chairman of the ruling party in the country, the National Democratic Congress. Mr. Samuel Abuaji, as well, is a former parliamentary candidate of the ruling party who contested 2 elections, unfortunately did not win, and was a part of the team which was headed there. Then to the flight crew, squadron leader Peter Anala, who was the pilot, a flying officer Chuman Pedu, and then Sergeant Ernest Adom Mensah, all with the Ghana Air Force, unfortunately not surviving this rather unfortunate crash.
Our condolences go out to the families of those fallen soldiers. A tragic story indeed. The president of Ghana, John Mahama, has declared 3 days of mourning, as you mentioned before, also flags flying at half-mast. But what is the mood generally on the ground then? The ordinary Ghanaians, what are they saying? How are they responding?
It's been one of shock, one of anguish, and what many people cannot believe, the fact that a crash so devastating had to take place. For a lot of people, they are even petrified, because at some point in time it could have been the president on this military aircraft, and many ask the question, could this have meant the president of the republic would have suffered this unfortunate fate? Many as well are recounting the lives lived by these individuals. A number of them, one of the sergeants, Sergeant Mensah, leaving a freshly wedded wife. He just got married last month. The pilot, of the aircraft. Squadron leader Peter Nala has a 2-month-old baby, amongst many other things. And for a lot of the people who are sharing their encounters with these individuals and the ministers of state, many of whom people know as very generous and respectable individuals, it's been too hard a pill to swallow. We've
Yeah.
seen other government officials who've made it to their homes and are in unconsolable and uncontrollable tears. And it's been a very difficult last 12 hours.
Eric, will continue to monitor the story. I'm sure we'll catch up with you at a later stage, but thank you so much for shedding light so far.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Eric Mawuena Egbeta